It's going, yes.
Village of Williamsville, work session for December 9th, 2024. At 6, we got 6 and 7, oh, different, really. 6:07 p.m. That's what they're going to get the lunch. 6:07 p.m. We did have a guest scheduled for this meeting, he's not here.
Yeah, his retained counsel. I spoke to his lawyer. So he said, I can update the board.
Okay. So you're going.
That's it.
Okay. All right, so there's no guests this evening. We'll do the grant update, administrative notes.
Okay, there should be a copy in your packets. I only actually have one update, which is for the fire department. We do have an application in process that Sophie started, and she's working with Mike on that. They're getting together next week to put in some details about that. But that's it. Other than that, everything has been quiet since our last meeting. We've got a call tomorrow, I think, with Mark from FEMA. Actually, I don't think that's tomorrow. It's Monday. But everything else is pretty much the same, and no changes there. Other than you signed the closeout for the South Lawn Playground. So now we got to do the grant. The reimbursement request, and then we'll get that 125. Okay, that's it for grants. So ARPA, I've included the latest update for you guys, the latest spreadsheet with all the costs on it. I forgot mine, so I'm not actually looking at one. Thank you. So this is where we are, the latest. I did include the entire bid for the Orchard and Park Drainage Improvement Project, which is coming in at $205,000. So we did have to readjust some numbers. I took off the accounting projects that we had tried to expend for last couple months, but we're removing those because they're not actually applicable to ARPA. So that opened up a bit. And then we're going to do right now community plan, the Orchard and Park drainage project, and the West Spring topographic survey. I just need to get those contracts signed before I can submit them for ARPA reimbursement. So that's what I'm double timing this week to get those done. Once you pass the resolution to accept the bid tonight, we'll get the contract for Orchard and Park. And then everything will be submitted. All the paperwork is all our ducks in a row. We have all our resolutions. We have all our contracts. So everything is good. And we're down to $322. And whatever's left, I'll just put on community.
Right. And then expanding on that a little bit, the community plan, the date for that, we need to have a special wording.
Yes.
Pass that resolution,
That's correct.
which can be either the 16th or the 19th.
So I wanted to see what we
Is that a Monday?
The
The 16th is a Monday, 19th is a
Monday.
Thursday.
And then the 19th is Thursday.
You want to
I think
do
we
it
need
for
to do
6 or
Thursday.
7? What time would you guys like it at?
We can do,
I think we should do Thursday.
Because we have election.
pretty much working till 5, getting back in.
It'll be a 5-minute meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. 6 o'clock.
You just need to have that resolution, you get that contract.
So that is December. That's it.
Yeah. The 19th.
I'm sorry.
Go down.
Yeah,
TJ Jimmy.
Dan Jim.
DJ Jimmy.
Jimmy Dan. Jimmy Dan. Jimmy Dan. I like it. Jimmy Dan.
Yeah. Okay, very good.
When is
I'll
it,
tell
the
you.
16th or the 19th?
19th. Special meeting at 6 p.m.
6 p.m.
If it's bad weather, we're gonna go Zoom, so.
Okay.
Are we allowed to do that?
Yes.
Pass resolution?
Yeah.
No, because we had that issue before.
No, no. we just can't have it.
No team.
No,
it's kind of a-
no, I mean, I don't have to look at the local law, we haven't used that yet, the remote, I'll have to look. I don't,
It should be fine, but I always just want to back up plan,
you know,
because we do have the deadlines. And how it-
You could do
So,
Wednesday.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to take a look at that.
Is there
If we see bad weather coming in, we're gonna move, we'll move it the day before,
Yeah,
you know, so we put it in. Everybody okay with it?
that'd be easier.
It has to be-
Okay.
You'll be fine.
All right,
We should be, I mean, yarology, Alright, we'll be good.
okay,
I just don't wanna miss a deadline.
right.
We look through it on that one, but right now, it's coming in. Okay, thank you very much. Maybe an event update. I'm going to leave all the glory to, Deputy Mayor Tory on the holiday market, she's did an outstanding job in collaborating with the town. It was great. The tree lighting was amazing. It was a huge crowd, and it was a really nice ceremony, dedication of the rededication actually. And it was star, Ben, thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you for looking up and figuring out that orange was a significant color for that little.
Thank the ladies in the office.
When we pulled up the article.
Team-
I was
team
told you
effort.
looked up the-
Yeah.
I just told you had a hand in that.
Yeah, he went
They
out.
all
and got it.
told me that.
Found
No,
orange
that was
bulbs.
Ben.
That was the challenge.
But they, I mean, family, and I know it's supposed to be people that can lighting, they're all in tears.
Yeah.
The mother, the father, the
The
daughter.
history, I know not everybody here was
Oh,
there.
there, it's so emotional.
But the tree lighting, the tree, Nick Roth's little grandson did the final push for the button. Because Nick and Marsha Roth donated that tree. And then the star on the top was donated in memory of
Sebastian.
Sebastian. A young child from the community who passed away of cancer a few years back. And these two ideas came to our office, and from that, we developed an event around those ideas, and it was to make it about the children and the continuation of the spirit of the children in Christmas and the holiday season. And we had to have 30 kids around the tree,
And it
all the way
worked.
up, and it worked. And kids, every child who was there had the opportunity, if they wanted to come stand around the tree in the circle, and it was just amazing. It was really, Nick spoke, and Ellie, Sebastian's mom spoke, and then it's a countdown. The tree lit. We got to the
It took a
countdown,
second.
and it did take a second.
It did take a
The tree
second, and
lit.
I was like, okay.
So, it was a very nice event, and really good community event, and it really went off so well. And, I gave a shout out to DPW for getting us all set with the tree, great job as always. So, then we had DJ Jimmy over there doing music,
Jimmy Jam.
Jimmy Jam and Chris, Deputy Mayor Tory handing out candy canes, so it was a really, really nice event. And we're just gonna keep building on that, next year as well. Asher Crossing is still just in holding, or?
yeah, I mean, I don't know, I haven't heard that they, they're supposed to be submitting those as-built. I don't know if that happened. I haven't heard anything.
Don't think we're back on the agenda yet.
Any place I'm going to put that up, please, and you can help that.
Okay,
And the short-term rental moratorium. We do have some time between now and our next official, board meeting. So if everybody could just review if you haven't, print out that please provided, and, any ideas you can come up with that you think would be important for our short-term rental codes. And there's other codes out there. What was the one you said was a good one, Chip? One outside of Saratoga?
I don't remember. I have a folder with that research in my office. I don't remember right now. But there are some codes and things keep changing.
Yeah, if you could just
Yeah.
send maybe a couple of codes that are out there that may fit for our size buildings.
Okay.
And just to the board. Thank you. Ellicott Creek Dam update. Do we know how close we are to the?
I reached out to him again today to just set up a kind of a meeting to get information in advance of our January 7th touch base with FEMA. I
Okay,
did not hear back today. But they were in the last couple of weeks, they were in getting data on the corridor, more finite details. So they are working on it.
I can see that probably very end of this year. beginning of
Yeah,
next.
yeah.
They're scheduled to be on the call with you next week.
Oh, good. Okay.
Someone from Gomez and Sullivan.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's good. That'll help us advance things. FEMA, good. Old Home Days, Jolly Boys, we are working on a plan. We're having a meeting next week. Some of the Jolly Boys, and myself, just go over there, they come up with a safety plan and some other ideas for that. um, For that event, and we'll review it and review it and review it, and come up with, something that we will let all the people. And I mean, we've, again, that we've met, we've discussed the fees, everybody's in agreement. The WBA and the folks representing the businesses and the board, so we'll move forward with that. And, that's everything I have. That's fine, no problem. Thank you. Chip, I just wanna make sure, we are gonna have to go into executive session tonight? Is that sounds, should it, this should be something
Yeah,
we
we can do, yes, we can do that and
Okay. All right, Deputy Mayor George.
Thank you. Committee benefits, well, the holiday market was phenomenal, I must say. Considering it had a short span of maybe 3 weeks to really pull it together. Despite us working on it since springtime, we had a little bit of a complication with our final contract. But once that was all signed and ready to go, we brought in the vendors. We had food vendors, we had vendors who sold items, we had alpacas. The weather was frigid, but it did not stop people from coming. I mean, they just rolled in. I think we had about 22 vendors total. The front parking lot was vendors who had gifts they could sell, the alpacas. And as you entered Island Park, on the left side, we had one more vendor who was making T-shirts. And the Slippy Pavilion had all the food vendors. As well as we had a wonderful DJ trivia. It was a lot of fun. And following the trivia, we had a musician, two musicians called the Celtic Duo. Fabulous music. I mean, the whole event went without a problem. And thank you again to the DPW for making the park so beautiful. Island Park, we never lit the trees before. So the trees, the lighting around the trees was just phenomenal. The bridge was decorated. The Schlitz Pavilion with the side panels. I mean, it was a godsend, honestly. It was so frigid cold, and people could actually go in there and warm up and have a good meal and eat and talk. So thank you to everybody who came out and joined us. I know it was cold, and it wasn't the perfect weather conditions, but it was a great success. And the vendors, I went to each vendor, and they all said they did very well. So next year it'll be even bigger and better, and look forward to that. If anybody has any ideas, just pass them along to me if you want to see something else. Okay, thank you. You were there. Next on my agenda, first I want to shout out to the Jolly Boys. In our last meeting, I had mentioned that the Forest Green Club had asked for 2 new urns for in front of the meeting house. And Herb got right on it. And, oh my gosh, yeah, Ross as well. And within the last meeting and today, they have received the 2 urns. But they won't set them up yet because the urns that are presently at the meeting house are already decorated for the season. So once the season's passed, we'll switch them out. but they were so happy. I mean, they couldn't take it. Thank you, Jolly Boys, you always come through, much appreciated. Next I'd like to talk about, where we stand on our comprehensive plan. So as you know, we received 5 RFQs from 5 different firms. Our steering committee evaluated every firm through a score system, and we invited 3 firms for a person-to-person interview. So the 3 firms came on Friday during staggered times, and the steering committee asked them questions. They presented what they thought we could use for the village, what we were looking for, and then they left. And now our next step is we asked them to actually submit a scope of work for the village. So I go ahead and name the 3 companies? No. So the 3 companies will submit a scope of work, which we are going to review. The deadline is Wednesday. We're going to review them Thursday. And by Friday, we will make a decision which firm we're going for with to do the comprehensive plan. But let me just say, the steering committee is phenomenal. They've done their work. They've done their research. They know what we're looking for. I'm excited to move forward with this because it's so long overdue, and it's going to be a great comprehensive plan. I mean, looking ahead for the future of the village, you know what we want and expect, and it's going to be A+.
And just so people know, there will be another phase of community involvement.
Oh, absolutely.
So we're open when the final consultant is chosen, that's just the beginning of an 18-month process. There's a time frame here that we're trying to work within. And that's actually kind of an accelerated time frame. Sometimes maybe should be longer, but we wanted a more accelerated time frame because it's overdue. And there will be 2 community engagement opportunities within that time frame. One early on, and then as we start to build on the those suggestions and suggestions of the consultants and what we have going on in the village, and everything starts to fit, we'll have another one for the public. So it's very public facing and engagement.
Yeah, and involvement. So we need the public to respond.
Yeah.
I mean, this is your village, so any input you have, you need it. Okay? Because there's no turning back after this.
Yes.
So my next thing on the agenda is 175th anniversary. So I've been toying with the idea of what we could do, and when I was creating a tombstone for Halloween, I did a little research on Jonas Williams. Now, Jonas Williams lived and died at 30 South Toledo. That is the office building that now the town of Ann is. And he is supposedly buried in the backyard. Now, yeah, supposedly. Now, there are a lot of conflicting stories.
Can we take a time out here? Mr.
it-
Sherman,
No,
can you help us out?
Well,
Did you ever-
I've read the same thing.
Oh,
You did,
That is in 2 million books.
yes. And I've been going through different articles, you know, there's a lot of stuff out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
And it's somebody's word against them.
but you know what? What I would love to do, since the building is owned by the town now, perhaps we can give it the name the Williams Building. You know, or there's no sign, there's no dedication for Jonas Williams on that lot.
yeah.
How can that be, right? So what do you think?
I know he did live there.
Yes, he did, and he died there. He was only 36 years old when he died.
You know, he lived across the street.
Who?
And Rangel.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Still
What
there.
his
The
name?
brown house on the west side. Of the
Oh, I know which one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was in Rangel.
Oh my gosh, see? I mean, I just love the history of our village. So we can somehow incorporate, you know, if the town wants to work with us on that, and welcome it. But I think not even knowing that right through this office building is where we lived and died, we could do a real special ceremony. Wouldn't that be kind of nice? Yeah, so think about that.
I mean, we have all year, like,
Yeah.
it's gonna be it's the entire year, but to build something like through the summer months, some ceremonies, dedications, whatever,
Absolutely.
just
It
interesting.
just came to
fact.
my mind, because I was shocked to learn that he was back there, and I'm like, what, did anybody else know that? I didn't know that.
I,
You know, yeah, so But anyway, so that's it, put your thinking caps on, whatever you wanna do for the 175th, that's just, like you said, starting on it, but it takes a lot of planning. You know, when you put, you know, do Main Street or whatever, bring in bands, you know.
Open houses,
yeah.
here,
Yeah.
community.
Yeah, I think it'd be fabulous.
Yeah.
Anything else? Oh, we have, our HBC meeting is actually meeting next week on the 17th. You know that, Chuck? Yeah. And there's no ZBA and no environmental this month. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. First, trustee Select.
Okay, kind of piggybacking on the tree lighting, did pull up, at 4 o'clock. And, just so I could get, you know, just to be set, in order to get stuff set up out front. And, did walk around a little bit, saw the, pathos. But at that time, the weather was really, really hot. But, as I came back, probably about 45 minutes, after that, came out and started getting stuff ready. I was amazed at how many people walked by and asked, is this where the tree lighting is going to be? And the families that were going up and down in here and taking photographs and you know, I'd just like to thank everybody who really made that kind of a destination
Yeah.
for people to bring
Our
their children
volunteer.
and take pictures. And it was really, I was quite in it, because I'm like, it's really nasty out. But these folks were out, you know,
Buffalo, it doesn't phase us.
doesn't
right?
phase us, you know. As far as committees, youth and rec didn't meet. Actually, we're going to meet on Friday, the 13th. As they're having the movie night, so we're having our meeting before that. But I'll just mention that this Friday is the holiday movie night at the Meeting House. So we've got 2 areas covered there. The movie that's being featured is Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas, which is wonderful. And you can, if that's the movie's at 7:30, but the doors will open at 7 for arts and crafts before the show. So that we have the meeting house itself is robust with events and, you know, people renting it. I didn't see him, but I understand this past Saturday, Santa was there. It went real well.
Yeah, yeah, a little bit less probably than the year before, but we haven't got it to 12.
Yeah.
So again, between that and tree lighting and everything that was going on, it's very, very nice. Traffic and safety, we did not meet this month. We're meeting next month, but we're meeting on the 9th, which is a week later than we would normally. So that's going to take place. We're
January 9th.
January 9th. Again, we're waiting on Watts Engineering for some information when they're ready to present that. And I did begin a conversation in regards to the parking meter concept. They had a very long conversation with Wally Pacer about it from a judicial perspective. Been doing some research and gathering information on varying municipalities and how they're using it. City of Buffalo is one. I read a lot about Lake Placid because their board is going through some heat about some current decisions they made, but they have an interesting program, which I'll roll out that portion of it and information to present. But in the short term, I have received some feedback from business owners along Main Street about, you know, long-term parking in front of the place, which they feel is impeding on their ability to get the traffic that they, get, and reduce hours on that as far as people parking on the street. Which I'm sure most everybody who's been paying attention to that is aware. We as a board and figure out exactly how we want to approach that. There's some options there, but I'm not ready to present any of this. That's it.
Thank you, Russ, thank you, Mark.
Again, my apologies to you. Attending your meeting, the efficient committee, ceases operations. But, what they have done, and their roads. And, on that note, I'm seeing Mr. Roth, and then, so thank you very much for the second.
Oh, all right, well, thank you.
And the WDA has their new officers in the district. And as far as 22, items, there's been no change since we met. This is a situation where the property owner hears himself in the claim. Established policy for ownership but is non-responsive to any communication. Well, plant that seed for the term. Another one.
Mhm.
Check, yeah.
Yep. I better touch base with him. See if he is and what he's planning.
Yes, if you could, and we can get some idea where we have to go with that. Oh, thank you, right, thank you, Mark, thank you, Beth.
No, yeah. Much has been going on with the parks. A little bit. So there's no meeting for Grand Park in the month of December or Arts Culture University. So, Parks Committee is actually meeting next week. On the 17th. That's pretty much all I have. And then we've got Grand Park Festival.
Yeah, I know, we don't have an update, but just as we get updated, with Glenn Park report and all of those together.
And Paul Kreider actually wanted to do the liaison.
Liaison.
on the
Yeah.
weekends, yeah. So he would go to the meetings and then bring back information.
Oh, our first
Mhm. Yeah, Paul Kreider offered to do that. He was nominated in one of the meetings to be the representative.
Yeah. Not necessarily a
Yeah,
liaison, but
and he'll go and then, you know,
just Glen Park.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So it's just good to keep that together.
No.
Mhm.
So I guess, so Glen Park will meet again, the next meeting will be June Wednesday, June 7th, and it's June 7th.
Yeah, very good, thank you very much, Trustee Jackson. Okay, village attorney, any,
No, not really.
administrator, no?
Tomorrow morning, we have 2 mandatory training sessions on sexual harassment at 9, workplace violence at 10.
Oh, that's tomorrow, right?
Should be on your
Yeah,
calendars.
I remember
Yeah,
that.
if you
9 to 10,
can't
right?
go, let me know. We'll have to arrange for online. Amy, you're good except for the workplace violence, and you gotta do that some other time.
Let's see, it starts at 9, right?
Yeah.
9 to 10.
There's one at 9, one at 10.
Oh, one's at 9 and one's at 10? Oh,
Yeah.
good. What do you really?
9 to 11.
Because I had my notes 9 to 10, I figured. Sorry.
Okay, no problem.
You have your sheet on it?
Nothing for the work session.
Just as a reminder, I know we obviously didn't email, but they do have Saturday for the Lehigh, or Williamsville people. Okay.
They
So,
He actually was asking for RSVPs so they're trying to mark as many people as they can. So if you know if you're going or not,
I did ours.
you did, okay, great.
I know I mentioned it last meeting, but I can't make that, and I did talk to Mark Saturday.
Okay.
And I let him know.
Okay, good.
And then NICOM, winter legislative is, February 4th, 2025. You can make it. Make it. Board is invited to go. But NICOM, winter legislative, and kind of gives you an idea of where NICOM is, and there's lots of good workshops.
There's a class.
For you,
No, like,
in the village. So that's all here in the village.
there's a class.
And it's really very informative because they truly back villages. You don't realize how you get no backing until you come into the meetings. And they take the forefront of what they do to help us, especially if they receive funding. I mean, it's hard for villages to get funding. And they really help us with that, so it's very good.
And so, not received.
I did.
You have, I thought so. Everybody should have received it, okay, good. So if you can, just let Sue know, we'll make arrangements through the office and for the hotel and everything to be solved. And it's right at the area, and we carpool. So, we can make it, whoever would like to go. I know I'm gonna go this year. I think there's a lot of good workshops this year, but I did not go last year, but I was the year before, and so it's nice to attend. Okay, all right, so Chip, can we go to executive now?
Yeah. Absolutely.
45 minutes.
I know. We're gonna do
Yeah, won't
nothing.
take that long.
Won't take for us today. Yeah. Yeah, we've been looking for you. Hope you come up. So let's welcome everybody to the village board meeting for December 9th, 2024, 7:29 p.m. We're going to open with the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Joe.
To the flag of the United States,
Republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you very much. Roll call, please.
Sure, Mayor Hunt,
Here.
Deputy Mayor Tory,
Here.
Trustee Jackson,
Here.
Trustee Han,
Here.
Trustee Select.
Here.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Make a motion for the approval of the regular meeting minutes from November 25th, 2024.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I do have one change on those minutes from Trustee Jackson.
Okay,
Just the
let's go
wrong date.
backwards.
Yep.
What was it?
Wrong date at the end where I put next date, the next meeting should have been today, and it was said January 13th. So it was a typo. So
Okay,
that will be changed.
okay, then I make a motion for the minutes from the regular meeting of November 25th, 2024 as amended.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Very much. Procedure, we do open the floor for the public. We ask you to take only 3 minutes and address the board as a whole, not individual. And the rules of procedure, we have
Yep.
copies, there's
Copies
copies
right
available right there. Make a motion to suspend for suspension of rules for public participation. Second. All those in favor? Aye. If anybody would like to address the board, please step up to the podium and state your name and whether or not you live in the village or the town or what area you're from.
Nick Ross, village president. I know you've been talking quite a bit about the dam recently and the government development study. And I'm just curious as to where I would status of that is and do you expect to receive it?
We discussed that at work session either towards the end of this month or the beginning of January. They will be on the January 7th FEMA call with us. Okay?
And I recall that when I tried to watch remotely the work session from November 25th, and you know your technology is below substandard, it's terrible. But I heard that you may be trying to get Amherst to re-engage once you receive the Amherst and Gomez and Sullivan study.
Oh, yes, we'll reach out to the other municipalities.
And I'm sure you know, you do know that our LWRP, we did receive the first State Secretary of State. I have to presume that Amherst has got theirs approved as well. Are you looking to use those two tools as part of the solution when they deliver the report?
Yes.
Okay, and my one last question that I've been asking for years, and I said this repeatedly to past boards, as somebody who worked on the LWRP committee, as a resident who lives along the creek, as one of the 7 property owners in the village whose property lines extend into the creek. When are you going to start making this more of a regional problem? The issue with the dam is not solely the village of Williamsville. Lancaster and Chickawaga certainly benefit from it as well. And I've had these discussions in the past with Supervisor Popa, both when he was here and in the building next door. I've never seen any initiative to try to engage more communities because it's not our sole responsibility for the mile that runs through the village.
And once we get the report from Gomez and Sullivan and we know what direction we are going to be moving in, then we'll know how much engagement we need. I mean, the other communities, it'd be wonderful if they wanted to assist, but it depends on what the outcome is. I can't say now what we'll need to do or how much it's going to cost.
FEMA, I'm sure that FEMA is not going to restrict their scope just to the mile.
Right, so we're working, absolutely, that's correct. So we're working with FEMA and we'll see what the report brings to us, the information we garner, what the best course of action will be. And then we can work with FEMA and decide how we can achieve those actions. Okay?
And then you announced last week and reinforced to them today the decision to stop screening the work session due to cost. What is the cost to, stream a
We didn't
work
say cost.
There's just the cost to upgrade our audio equipment and stuff. And it's just resources, basically. No other village does stream here.
Right, yeah, and that's, nobody comes in front of a moving train either. So what is the cost though? Is it that much for streaming this session now? Just to
No, it would be
We're
the
not
cost
streaming.
to upgrade our substandard equipment, as you said.
Right,
It would be the cost to replace that,
but you just,
thousands of dollars to
Okay.
replace it.
well, you've updated your Wi-Fi routers, I've heard.
Yeah,
The village, board I'm facing now has laptops.
No, we don't.
no,
Oh, I thought.
No, we
you
don't.
said-
Nick, you're
No.
3 minutes away. You're 3 minutes away. We're not streaming. We're going to record and put it on,
the videos will still be up on YouTube.
still on YouTube.
Okay, I'll exit now, but I believe you're streaming this meeting right now.
No, it's not live streaming.
It actually is at the moment, just it's not, the link isn't on the website.
Yeah, and before I leave, I want to thank you for the wonderful, tree ceremony. Generally, you attended a lot of them, but you understand the pressure to, family and even students. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for the tree.
Someone story I gave when Bill Carson, 45 Gambler Lane, Williamson, New York. 56 years resident, my wife 73 years. I've lived out of the creek all those years, 56. And one of the reasons I think Lancaster doesn't give a hoot is because they don't get any benefit from the creek in the first place. At the flood the creek, I'm sorry to even bring this up, but I haven't slept in 12 years with this damn gate thing. If those gates go back in somehow or other, I'm sorry to even talk about it. The chances of my house being saved go down dramatically. The premiums I'm paying for flooding are skyrocketing. 18.2% a year. At some point, I can't pay it. It will exceed my total property taxes, Amherst School, the whole bit. The house is reassessed at $350. They want it $440. They just throw a freaking number out based on square footage, nothing to do with the house. So I hire someone every single time. Extra cost. It's gotten to the point I want to survive. We can't pit the people in the flood zone against the people because they got some deer in their yard now that they maybe didn't have for years. I've had them for 56 years. So you got some deer. And one time, first of all, they want a canoe. I understand that. But nobody guaranteed you canoeing. And I'm not against that person. They're lovely people that I met here. I like them very much. But if you said to me, your home is in danger of losing your home, and I'm a canoeer, I say to you, I could canoe somewhere else.
Our goal, we have a mutual goal. We don't want to see anything flood.
I don't
You know,
know.
that's why we're doing this study,
Yeah,
to-
when I read in the
to
paper,
look at other options.
people that said, the board has done nothing. That's bullshit. If it weren't for this board, FEMA study, there wouldn't have been a $72,000 or $79,000 grant. I can't tell you how deeply I'm indebted to this board. And people make comments about it, they don't know what they're talking about. And I've only been coming here for 3 years out of my 56 years here. I am impressed with all of you. And I thank you for your service. And you don't get paid even close to what a town person gets paid. And you guys have probably worked 40 hours a week. How do I
We
know
put our
that?
time in.
By being here, and I appreciate you. I want to stop my goddamn flood premium. I gotta do something.
Thank you, Joe. I know.
Thank you so much.
We're trying. We're trying. We're doing as best we can with what we were handed.
Yeah, you were.
Good evening, village board members. My name is Thomas Frank, and I reside at 540 Main Street. And I want to thank you for my 3 minutes to give my presentation. The previous speakers were excellent regarding the discussion of the LWRPs, Local Waterfront Revitalization Plan, the FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, and they didn't mention FERC, Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, or the GBNRTC, the Greater Buffalo Niagara Transportation Council. They're all interconnected. And what I would like to bring to your attention is I just want to remind you about the 2015 community plan, where as far as what was included in it, that was not implemented, and that this next plan is going to expedite the plan. And as far as specific methods, means, and modes of implementing the plan, that as far as the Glen Park Joint Board as the lead agency for, and I talked to Brian Culpa today about the property that's down in Amherst State Park, as far as the interconnection of the Glen Park to the State Park, but it's a part of the Amherst Central Park Greenway that interconnects all the parks along the Ellicott Creek watershed, the floodplain, and that a part of the major part of the agreement, the intermunicipal agreement, the intermunicipal cooperation agreement is going to contain the Ellicott Creek connection. That was all this was done. The connection of Ellicott Creek to the Tonawanda Creek to the Niagara River Greenway, as far as the relicensing settlement, as far as we're looking at a $10 million 5-year capitalization that's a part of the Niagara River Greenway, the relicensing settlement, but also it's a part of the original purpose for the incorporation of the village of Waynesville in 1850 was to connect Ellicott Creek to the Erie Canal. And that as far as the New York State Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation, that you've got a strategic location that has potential, that looking at the long term through 2050, you're looking at between a $250 and a $500 million economic impact.
Thank you.
I'm not finished with my 3 minutes.
No, the 3 minutes just ding, they just ding, 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 or ding.
Well, and as far as the restoration, we're looking at $2 million a year for 5 years. And as far as tying it into the Greenway is a part of a statewide
Thank you, Tom.
initiative.
And you know what, Tom? We have the community plan, the comprehensive plan is being updated. The LWRP
Right,
was
right,
completed 2022 and accepted, I believe it was 2022. And once we have both those things, we'll start to move in those directions. We can apply for grants if we want to start connecting things and making those things in both plans happen. So that's our goal. That's
Right.
But you know we have to
the original,
plant all these
grants
seeds.
for
First,
CFA, the Consolidated
Tom.
Funding Application.
thank you, Tom.
Was in, and it's a matter of resurrecting it. And
We'll be looking at a lot of that.
but
Thank
and the nice thing is that Kathy Hochul, the governor, she sent me 2 letters advocating
Good.
this
That's good.
Amherst Central Park Watershed Greenway.
Yeah, it's all part of the master plan.
Right, exactly.
Thank you,
And,
Tom.
You're
Very
welcome.
good, appreciate it.
You do good work.
Thank you, John. Anybody else? Like to come to the podium? If you want to. Thank you. We're not seeing anybody step to the podium. I make a motion to close the suspension of rules for public participation.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Tonight we have no proclamations. We do have one public hearing, local law, chapter 15, relative to referral of certain demolition application to the Historic Preservation Commission. I make a motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, if anybody would like to address the board regarding the local law, thank you.
I would like to address the board on this, but first I have to ask your indulgence. Where is this proposed law posted? Not on the website? I can't find it anywhere. I did a search of HPC minutes, the last minutes that are available on the website.
Sue, excuse me, is it on the, is it,
It's with the agenda.
it should be in with the agenda, correct?
Yeah,
On
it's
our
on the
website.
agenda,
On
yeah,
our website.
and it's on the, yeah.
But what exactly does the law, what does it want to change?
So it's partly clarifying and partly expanding jurisdiction. There was a situation arose where a demolition permit was issued in connection with additions on a structure that if the main building itself had been the subject of the demolition permit, would have been referred to the HPC. So there was some concern that there was some ambiguity as to whether or not additions were considered principal structure or an accessory structure. So these amendments are intended to make it clear that the structure, the principal structure includes any addition.
Okay, so explain to me why 15.5 section of subparagraph or article 4 says that all the HPC landmark buildings, structures, whatever, are not subject to chapter 15. They fall under chapter 47. So how does this tie in with that?
So if something is a landmark, any application to demolish the structure is not subject to demolition procedures under chapter 15. It's subject to approval by the HPC under
Right.
chapter 47.
But it sounds like now that HPC wants to go beyond the landmark property or
Yeah.
any structure.
It does, but it's important to understand, it doesn't mean you need HPC, it doesn't give HPC authority to grant or deny that demolition. It simply refers the matter to HPC and gives them essentially 30 days to determine whether or not they want to designate that property, nominate that property as a landmark. So it's modeled on a very similar law in the city of Buffalo. It was meant to address situations where a property, there's a scramble all of a sudden when somebody applies for a demolition permit for a property that has not been designated as a landmark, but maybe worthy of it. So this has been on the books for a number of years now. But again, these amendments are really meant to make clear that if the building has an addition on it and if somebody wants to oppose the demolish the addition, that would be subject to the referral. Doesn't mean HPC can say no to the demolition. What it does mean is if it comes to them and they determine that the building is potentially worthy of landmark designation, they can start that process. And then a demolition permit can't be issued until that process is completed. The other part of the law that is an expansion is that currently the law excludes accessory structures. This law as amended would also require referral to HPC for accessory buildings, which is not, is a defined term, opposed to an accessory structure, which is like a shed or something other than a building. So think like a property repair or something. If somebody wants to demolish that, and it's 150 years old, before the demo permit can be issued, it has to be referred to the HPC.
Is it reasonable? There's a list of landmark
That's not for
properties.
me to say.
There's a list from HPP looking at our property, about 20 structures now. You get the 50-year-old stuff like that, but knowing the village as you do, are 1 square mile, like maybe 1,500 structures, most of them residential, that they pretty much know which ones can be landmarked, and, you know, call it a day to that end.
Not always, we don't always know. We haven't had ever cognitive studies since 97.
The most, I don't have to have that, I mean, there have been reconnaissance level survey a number of years ago, an intensive level survey, and then there was I actually don't remember as I sit here right now whether it was reconnaissance or intensive of South View. That was the most recent,
That was the most recent.
which was, I don't know,
But-
10 years.
I
The
planted a
overall
lot of trees in the village
Mhm.
in 2006. We would drive every village street to see if there's an empty spot, help the trees and things like that. Is it not reasonable that they could spend some time driving up and down the streets and see, well, we know there's nothing on this plot, nothing on this plot, just to narrow their focus a little bit?
That's why we have the studies done. That's, and we haven't had one done in, I'm gonna say 20 years. So that you take that 50-year window, and that's a lot of other structures that could be included. So it's not for me to say, but if HPC deems that they'd like to look into having another study, maybe that's something
We
that we'll
did
look
bring
at.
it up,
You know,
they're not cheap.
Yeah, well,
They're
most of
expensive.
the residential structures in the village are well beyond 50 years old. I mean, there are a few years old, but most of them are beyond 50 years old. And
Right.
they know which ones can be possibly designated as historic. Old does not mean historic.
No, it doesn't, but they haven't looked into the history, mostly it's history. I did I can tell you that, I nominated my own home. It's the history, nobody would know driving by my house, the deep history that it has and the ties it has to events in the village. But, so they don't know, you just don't know just by driving by homes. So I know I can't say that would be a way to do it. If it comes before them, it gives them the opportunity to then look at that individual property. And that's why we do it that way.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else like to come forward? Okay, if not, I make a motion to close the public hearing. Second. All those in favor? Aye. All right, we'll move on to the village board. Reports, just would like to report, as we've heard during work session and from some of our residents, the tree lighting was very well attended and it was a very successful event, and it really brought the true meaning of the holidays to the village and to our community. And it was a wonderful community event. So I would like to thank everybody who attended and everybody who that's helped and helped in the planning and participation, and again, DPW for decorating the tree. Let's see, we're gonna move on to resolutions. Make a motion that the following budget transfers are hereby made in the general fund for the 2024-2025 fiscal year as written. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion number 2, make a motion that be resolved that payroll and vouchers in the amount of $136,164.57, covering the period from 11/18 through 12/4/2024, are hereby approved as follows. As written. All those in favor? Aye. Motion number 3, make a motion whereas the Orchard Street and Park Drive drainage improvements project was duly advertised and bids for the project were opened at 10 a.m. on Tuesday, December 3rd, 2024. And whereas 4 bids were received for the project, now therefore be it resolved that the contract for the Orchard Street and Park Drive drainage improvements project is hereby awarded to Millhurst Construction, PO Box 430, Clarence Center, New York, for their low bid amount of $205,625. And I would like to amend that to include to be paid from the American Rescue Plan Act ARPA funds. Be it further resolved that the mayor is hereby authorized and directed to execute the agreement for professional services with Millhurst Construction and Corp. On behalf of the Village of Williamsville. All those in favor? Aye. Okay, make a motion to go off agenda.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Aye, okay. Resolution number 4. Make a motion that it be resolved, whereas a resolution was passed on April 9th, 2024 to fund accounting services to assist with year-end closing and open capital projects in the amount of $5,000 from ARPA funds. Whereas it has been determined that this expense will not qualify for reimbursement under ARPA obligation rules, it is resolved that the village will not seek reimbursement for this expense through ARPA funding. All those in favor? Aye. Motion number 5. Be it resolved, whereas I make a motion, whereas the resolution was passed on May 13th, 2024 to fund accounting services to assist with the accounting reconciliations in the amount of $5,000 from ARPA funds. Whereas it has been determined that this expense will not qualify for reimbursement under ARPA obligation rules, it is resolved that the Village of Williamsville will not seek reimbursement from this expense through ARPA funding. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Make a motion to go back on agenda. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you. Just like to wish everybody happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, and Happy New Year to everyone. And thank you to everybody in the village that volunteers and attends our meetings and really embraces this community. And we will move on to Deputy Mayor Tory, please.
Thank you, Mayor Hunt, and I second that. One thing I learned when we work with the community and do things like holiday events and holiday markets, and everybody comes out and they're so thankful and gracious and kind. And everybody who attended our first holiday market this past Saturday, thank you. It was freezing, it was cold, but it was a lot of fun. And I appreciate the effort that you made it so successful. So next year will be even better. This is in collaboration with the town of Amherst. So next year we'll have another dual village Amherst holiday market. And hopefully it'll be annual right here in our own backyard. So thank you for coming. Other reports I have, HBC is meeting next week instead of the 24th we're meeting on December 17th at 7 p.m. There's no ZBA meeting and there's no traffic and there's no environmental meeting this month. And then I have one resolution with this. Right? Yep. Okay. Resolved that local law number 12 of 2024 to amending chapter 15, building and structures, fire prevention and building code demolition relative to referral of certain demolition applications to the Historic Preservation Commission is hereby adopted.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And I wish everyone a safe and happy holiday. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for being part of this community. We very appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Deputy Mayor Tory. Trustee Celeste?
Thank you, Mayor. I have no resolutions, just on the next Traffic and Safety Committee meeting will be January 9th, not on the 2nd, I believe, due to the holiday. It's being moved a week. And also Youth and Recreation meeting will be taking place this Friday, prior to the Youth and Recreation holiday movie event at the Meeting House. Doors will open at 7 for crafts. The meeting or the movie will begin at 7:30, and the movie for this holiday will be The Nightmare Before Christmas, and there will be free popcorn and drinks. And that's all I have.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Trustee Celeste. Trustee Hahn?
No resolutions,
Okay, thank you, Trustee Hahn. Trustee Jackson?
I have no resolutions either, but just to mention that the Glen Park Board will not be voting meeting in December. The next meeting is January 8th. Arts, Culture, and Diversity, also no meeting in December. The next meeting will be excuse me, on January 9th, and the Parks meeting is meeting next week, December 17th, here in Village Hall at 7 o'clock. That's all I have. I hope everyone has a happy holiday season.
Okay, thank you, trustee Jackson. Any staff reports, Administrator Canal,
No, I'm good, thank you.
Attorney Grieco?
Just that we're continuing to pick up leaves as they defrost. So,
Oh, thank you.
We'll be out and about.
Forgot about that.
Code says October, November, December, so we're doing it.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much.
Good.
All right, make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody. Good evening.
See you next month. See you next
See you
year.
next year.
Oh my gosh. That sounds strange.
Thank you.
Okay, you too.
You're good out there, Joe?
Take care.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
For, the downtown.
Yeah.
January-
What?
Yeah, they're not.